Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about different inputs and outputs to our computer. Before we start with anything else, can anybody help me out and tell me what an input might be? Good, it's where something else goes into something, just like we can put something into our computer using different tools. Next, can anybody help me out with an output? Good, it's when something comes out of the computer. It's when the computer gives us useful information to work with. Like the boxes on the screen, for an input, something goes in the box, and for an output, something comes out of the box. Next, we're going to be talking about the different input devices you might use when you start using the computer. When I move to the next slide, I want you guys to look at the picture that's on the screen, and then point to where you see it around the room somewhere, whether it be on my desk or at your desk. The first thing we're going to be talking about is the keyboard. Go ahead and point at the keyboard for me. Good, there's a keyboard at each one of your desks. The keyboard is one of the most important tools you might use. Can anybody tell me what the keyboard is used for? Good, it helps us get letters into the computer. It's how we type different things, and we put them in and we get words on the screen. Now, does anybody know if this is an input or an output? Good, it is an input. Next, we'll talk about the mouse. Go ahead and point to the mouse for me. Good, just like the keyboard, you all should have a mouse at your computer stations. Can somebody tell me what we use the mouse for? Good, it helps us navigate on the screen. It helps us tell the computer what to do. Now, I want you all to raise your hands if you think this is an output device. If your hand's up, you're wrong. This is an input device. We use the mouse to put something in the computer. The next thing we're talking about is the microphone. Can anybody tell me what a microphone might be used for? Good, a microphone can help us talk to our friends. It can also do other things, like record sound and put it into the computer. It doesn't look like the ones that you might know how to use, but you might have used some of these in music class. Good. Can anybody tell me if this is an input or an output? Good, it's an input. It helps us put sound into the computer. The last input device we'll be talking about is the controller. Now I want you guys to raise your hand if you've ever used a controller before. Now those of you who have your hands up, can anybody tell me what you might use it for? Good, it helps you control the characters in your games. Just like you control the characters in your games, it can help us control different things on the computer. Good. Okay, we're going to do a short activity now. On your screen, you see the pictures that we had on the first slide. I want you to match those pictures to the word we said they were. Remember, when the arrow's going into the box, what is that? It's an input. Good. And when the arrow's going out of the box, that means something's coming out. So it's an output. Good. Okay, now we're going to talk about some different output devices that we might use. Can anybody think of an example of an output device? Good, the screen in front of you outputs something, and that's going to be one of the things we talk about. That's called the monitor. Point to the monitor for me. Good, it's right in front of you. Can anybody tell me what the monitor helps us with? Good, it helps the computer show us pictures on the screen. This is useful so we actually know what we're going to do. Now, I want somebody to tell me whether this is an input or an output. Good, it's an output. The computer is giving us something, so it is an output. Next is the printer. Can anybody tell me what we use a printer for? Good. It helps us get the picture from the computer onto a piece of paper. Would that be an input or an output? Good. It's an output, but some printers are special and they can help us put the paper back into the computer. The next thing we're going to talk about is headphones. Now, has anybody ever used a pair of headphones before? Good. Can anybody help me what they've used their headphones for? Good. They help us listen to the music. What else have you ever used to listen to music with? Good. You've listened to your music in your car. Well, in your car, there's something called speakers, just like we have on our desk in front of us. Speakers and headphones, they help us listen to different things from the computer. It helps us get the sound out of the computer and into a way that we can hear it. So next, we're going to play a little game, and that'll help us remember all of the things we just learned. So on your screen, you're going to choose a character. And then there will be some different questions about inputs and outputs. So you see that picture, that's the mouse. Is that an input or an output? Good, it's an input. Get ready for the next question. Ooh, what is that? Is that the monitor? Is that an input or an output? What do you think? Good, it's an output. It's when the computer helps us give something to us. Ooh, is that the controller? Can anybody tell me what the controller is? An output? No, that's not right. Remember, the controller's an input. It helps us put information into the computer and control the computer. Final question here. Those are headphones. Can somebody tell me if headphones are an input or an output? Good. Headphones are outputs. It's when the computer gives us sound, and we can listen to the sound through the headphones. Alright, good job everyone. And next and finally, I want you guys to draw one different input device and one output device for me. For this, we're going to talk about these pictures next class, so they will come to me and then we'll show them to each other at the beginning of next class.